Vences asks, I know that you've been asked a few times already about books, but if you would allow me, I'd like to ask you what with a little twist. Would you be so kind to give us a Dan Johns ultimate reading list for the home enthusiast? What I'm looking for is 80% of the bang for 20% of the buck guide, similar to what you did for the equipment on what books, articles, resources to read, learn first, and next steps to increase knowledge if need to go further down the rabbit hole for topics like strength, conditioning, nutrition, longevity. I guess if the first three done good enough, the last one gets done for free. But feel free to add and remove. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, for longevity, the book I always recommend, my favorite longevity book is this one here, Spring Chicken, okay? Spring Chicken, and the author's name is Bill Gifford. And he also was a co-author of Peter Attia's book, which is, and it's funny. Oh, by the way, that's a good book. Somebody said that I was getting attacked online because I gave a negative review of Peter Attia's book. I did not. Of course, you'd actually have to listen to my review. So, yeah, this is, in the age of the internet, if it's more than 4 seconds, no one pays any attention. And folks, I'm going to give long answers to everything because that's what we do. If all you need is, it's a beautiful insight. In fact, it's a book I'm going to recommend to you. I got this from Nick Peterson. Okay, so book number 1 is Spring Chicken by Mike Gifford. I think it's a very good book. It walks you through some of the most, from some of the craziest thoughts you can possibly have about longevity to something that's workable and livable. And it comes down in every longevity book. It's exercise. Well, exercise and a social life. I find those two fascinating. I'll hold bumpers back for just a second. Okay, so in nutrition, my favorite book, I think, is Barry Easterbrook's book, Just Eat. He takes you through, WW, which used to be called Weight Watchers. He takes you through, Fletcherizing, which is chewing food. He takes you through Kellogg's. He takes you through Atkins, South Beach, what they call the chop diet, because you spend all your life chopping. And then he does a brilliant thing in the end. At the end of the book, he says, this is what works for me. And I think that's the key in nutrition. I hope you heard that. This is what works for me. There's a lot of people say you shouldn't eat beans. Well, Barry finds out that beans are very agreeable to him. He also makes a statement in the book that it just stopped. I'll be honest, it stopped me when I read it. He said, I can't eat sandwiches anymore. And I'm like, when you first hear that, it's like, wow, what's wrong with sandwiches? Well, his point is, these are highly concentrated caloric foods. And his idea was, if you had a piece of meat here, you had to cut with knife and fork, or if you're in England, if you had 2 pieces of bread that you put spread on, and if you separate, you put the lettuce here and the tomato and make it into a salad. If you eat it that way, you're slowly bringing the food is where, I can eat a sandwich. That little place that has the clown, it's red and yellow. I can eat one of their hamburgers probably in 2 bites, because that's what we used to do when I was young. You'd go, hunk, and you get the big C, and then you shovel in the other side. There's nothing more fun than going to a fast food restaurant with people trying to bulk up, because you will be disgusted. Parents used to move away from us because we were disgusting, but we got bigger. So for longevity, Spring Chicken. For nutrition, Just Eat. Though I would also say that Death by Food Pyramid by Denise Minger is quite good. Death by Food Pyramid is also very good, very easy to get to. So good. So Spring Chicken, Just Eat, Death by Food Pyramid would be the advanced course in nutrition. When it comes to conditioning, boy, there's a lot of options out there. I am still going to tell you to go to Bill Hinburn's site, and he has that book in there, John Jesse's classic book, The Encyclopedia of Wrestling Conditioning by John Jesse. JESSE. SSEE. I just saw it on eBay for like $349. Bill Hinburn's site has it from like, I don't know what it is. I'd say it's $20. It's an older book, but, and I do have an original, but anything somebody invented online in the last few months, it's in here. This book is just stunning. It is one of it has everything you can even ever think about. Endurance program, exercise programs, everything that got invented when the internet showed up, you'll find out clearly had been around a lot longer. To me, for conditioning, I'm not sure there's a better one-stop shop than that book. So if you're going to go cheap, Spring Chicken, Gifford's book, Barry's Just Eat, the Wrestling Encyclopedia. The only problem is the book I want to tell you to buy for the field of weightlifting is Tommy Kono's Weightlifting American Style. But sadly, once Tommy died, I don't even know if it's available anymore. So what would be a great weightlifting book? Boy, there's just so many options here. It's embarrassing because so many, it's funny, I was looking for this book the other day and I couldn't find it, and there it is right there. I'm going to give you two options, okay? I'm going to give you two options. Obviously, I think my work is worth buying. Okay, three options. I mean, I think my intervention book is a good primer for what to do in the weight room, especially if you want to, be a better athlete. I'm gonna go in two directions on this. First, I really like the books of Clarence Bass. He's at the letter C, cbass.com. His books are illuminating. Every so often I'll go back and I'll read all of them. The book I would probably, I got to move my daughters out of the way. The book I would probably recommend the most, well, obviously his first book, Ripped, is really something to read, but it's his book here called Challenge Yourself. I always thought Challenge Yourself was his best book. And I like it because it gives you, the nice thing, Clarence, I think, is about 10 or a little bit, maybe more than that, older than me. So I've been reading his books kind of behind him. So, he has advice when he was in his 40s, giving us advice. I was basically just, so he must be like 20 years older than me. And then when I got to my 40s, I reread that stuff and it's like, okay, that makes more sense now. When I read his books he wrote about when he was in his 50s, when I turned 50, I went, oh yeah, that makes a lot more sense now. But I would say Great Expectations is pretty good. That's probably the one, pardon me. Great Expectations is really good. Take Charge, his last one, but Challenge Yourself. He talks about Olympic lifting in there. And then one other selection, if you're looking for general training, Pat Flynn has a book, and I hate the title, and everyone knows what the title's going to be though, but I think it's called like Paleo Fitness for Dummies. If you decide to go that route, email me. I sent Patrick pages of reflections because I did his entire 180-day program, which, if you know me, is something I do a lot of. When I recommend something, I've done it. So let's go through. If you're a general trainer, for most people, okay, then it'd be Spring Chicken, Just Eat, the Wrestling Conditioning Encyclopedia, Pat Flynn's book, Paleo Fitness for Dummies. If you're more like a bodybuilder or you're even a little bit older, I still feel comfortable with Just Eat and Spring Chicken. I think those are very good. Maybe Challenge Yourself with Clarence Bass, and maybe just pick up another Clarence Bass book, or pick up one of my musings like Attempts or something like that, which I don't have a single copy of, which is interesting. I hope that helped. So you can get away with just 4 books. Spring Chicken, Just Eat, Challenge Yourself. That's not bad. Paleo Fitness for Dummies. And then I also recommended the Wrestling Physical Conditioning Encyclopedia. That's a pretty good shelf. Now, from there, you can then start reading other authors and then realize that almost all of us just basically cut and paste. We're like a modern college professor that just cuts and pastes other people's work. And Doesn't give attributes. All right, good question. And that was fun to answer it, okay? Thank you.